I was reading the paper earlier and I was watching television, and I found a couple things that made me feel emotional and passionate. What separates me from other people is that I have emotions, and I have trained myself to use them, not be shy of them. They're all necessary. Now, today when I was watching this news article and read this news article, it made me emotional and upset because it defied reason. Now, I studied history and I constantly talk to various personality types to try and gather the most worldly position of what is reasonable, rational. And when I seen Joe Biden come on the news and say that white supremacists are the biggest threat to the United States, and in this newspaper article I read, in the city of Yarra, they were advertising for a climate change activist, for salary for about 80,000 Australian cold hard cash per annum to paint a mural to raise awareness about the epidemic of the emergency climate change in Australia and the world. These two things. When I drive home, when you actually care about something, when you've researched something and something matters to you, it makes you feel things. And if you're just reasonably intelligent, it actually motivated me like 500 times more than normal. And I had like this razor sharp like focus where I have tunnel vision and nothing else matters around me. I don't care what anyone else thinks. History, future means nothing except for the present. And it's extremely powerful. It's like a tingling sensation all over your body, but you just feel incredibly calm and time kind of slows down. This is what happens when a man is motivated by something. That's why it's extremely dangerous for people like me to exist, to be popular, because I have values for things and I value reason and I like to be critical, and I just do not rely on the first source of information to gather my value on something. But the whole point of this crappy little video that no one's going to watch is to tell you that if you're extremely healthy, like you do some fasting, you have the right amount of sunshine, you drink filtered water, get rid of the heavy metals, and you work out and you have a lot of you're constantly researching by listening to the greatest minds in history. You're constantly watching interviews from the last century with the world's greatest minds, the most creative minds, artistic minds, the most revolutionary minds, and you study them intensely and you learn to love it. Maybe you hate it at first, but you learn to love it. You do that on a regular basis, and then if you get highly motivated by something and you just average intelligence to begin with, you have no idea what kind of feeling it is. This kind of feeling of like calm yet euphoric epiphany juice. This is what happens when something of the lacking reason is painted to me in the right frame of mind. And normally, if I'm just in my regular, 60% capacity of human brain, these things don't bother me because I'm just like floating in the breeze, just happy to go shopping and consuming and eating and sleeping and pleasure seeking like most people. But when I have those days where I don't eat and I exercise a lot and I've been showing restraint, it allows me to feel things, and actually it's kind of beautiful. But I also see why it's not glamorized, because it's a power you would not believe. On the way home, I just felt like it's this incredible razor sharp focus where it's like I just want to call on the powers of my ancestors and call upon subconscious mind, everything, pulling all my strings to get through this to the best of my abilities, to be most calm, reasonable, respectful, and paying homage to cross-cultural view of what's right. Because you cannot go by the Bible, you can't go by the Quran, you can't go by Dan Andrews. These people are not Puritans to wholly seek knowledge from. You have to deduce from thousands of varieties of information, and also use your instinct. But the reason why Joe Biden made me upset, because I could just see in his face. I like to study faces. I like to study people's eyes. I like to study what's really been said. What is really being said beneath the tailored words that have been written by someone half his age, and words itself, you can hide behind that, but you can't hide the lines in your face. You can't hide your arch of your spine. You can't hide all those sins. They are written on your face, and they are there for everyone who has half a brain to see. And now, I cannot stand racism. I wish I was a different color. I hate being white because there's a lot of bad white people in history. I don't like it. But to say that white supremacists are the biggest threat to the United States is just plain bonkers. Because what I was thinking is, like, over 2020, I've noticed there seem to be hundreds and hundreds of violent incidences in various cities in the United States, where there seems to be various cults of various races causing conflict. And it did not seem to be purely Anglo-Saxon, European-driven negativity in 2020. It seemed to be a cocktail of people involved. And it just seems so petty after all we've been through. We just had a livelihood stripped from us last year, and now you're trying to cause separation by focusing on racial differences? Like, do we need this, Joe? Do we really need to be focusing on racial differences right now? Come on, seriously. No one has any faith in the ability to open up a business anymore. No one has any faith in our leaders. We do not trust the politicians anymore, and now you're trying to focus on racial differences? Come on. Peace and love.